So hey, did you know that the biggest Smash Ultimate tournament ever hosted ever just took place in Japan? The fellows over at Kagaribi 13 had the pleasure of playing against the most talented players ever. If you have a favorite top player, they were probably here, and they did not disappoint. This was a banger tournament. In the end, it was Akola who took the win. He was actually kicked out of the winner's bracket by Raru, but then he got his revenge against the Luigi, resetting the bracket in Grands and taking it home. That must have been really satisfying for Akola. Nice job, man. It was like 5 AM for me when this happened, so I didn't see it live, but you know, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know, the day after the tournament I checked out the bracket to see how it ended, and I saw this top 8 and I thought, remember when top 8s didn't look like this?
Oh, it's super high. That's just free aerial right there. Oh my god, down smash! That hurt.
At least relative to the base joke recovery. Yeah, absolutely.
What triple fair into forward smash on the full end?
Oh my god. But nonetheless, Tsubaki got him off the Oh, I forget that's a reflector.
He's a reflector.
I've never seen he reflects that though. Dude, that's actually so...
Alright, after that intro, I don't want to come across as like a salty, toxic, reactionary guy, like complaining about all the Steves and Sonics and Luigi's. Like, oh, I don't care. If there's a good character, people are gonna play them. It's part of every fighting game's lifespan. Who gives a shit? And obviously, everybody here is correct. I wouldn't dare to call anyone here carried or anything like that. Of course not, of course not, of course not. My actual thought process when I saw this very 2025 coded top 8 was, wow, and this is the same game where Ike won a Super Major? Like, that's so interesting. Like, it's always really cool to see how the threads of the meta change as time goes on, or should I say as life goes on. So yeah, this video is about Joker, who's been chilling comfortably in the S tier since he came out because he's busted, but at the same time nobody is calling him lame or asking for a ban or begging Sakurai for nerfs. But he's still busted, he's still really good. So I got a little nostalgic, my bad. I like Joker, shit, sue me. While everyone's talking about Kagaribi here on my channel, it's time for a little lore recap. It's time to reminisce about when Joker took over Smash Ultimate. I only have like 4,000 subscribers, guys, chill out. I'm still allowed to be annoying and go against the current like a little kid. Alright, Joker Persona 5 is very often perceived as one of the coolest, if not the coolest character in Smash Ultimate. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Don't start typing that comment. Yes, he is. Super fast, nice movement options, fun combos that aren't completely busted or super easy or are just the same move over and over. Tons and tons of flashy tech, and he's good. You know, busted, but not too busted, at least by DLC 2 standards. One could say he's the most honest, dishonest character, or the most dishonest, honest character, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is, outside of subreddits full of people who hate this game but at the same time suffer from addiction, and some parts of Twitter, the people like him. He's like Sheik, except not really, and with a super cool trench coat and a knife and a cheat code that comes in every now and then. What's not to like? So The Boy came out in April of 2019, still early into Ultimate's life. Remember when Best Buy leaked the Joker render early? That was funny, I was in high school back then. When Joker became available to use, there was of course a ton of content centered around him on YouTube. You know, the usual, right? Like, Joker's busted, like new best character in the game, or like the ultimate Joker guide, and it's just some random streamers highlights playing their day one Joker on quick play, right?
Gun dash. This is called gun dash right here. Ready? Ready for the gun dash? Share it.
Or like, for his neutral special, he wields a gun, that's so funny, like all the usual stuff, right? But a little while later, as tournaments continued, people discovered how scary he could be in the hands of a top player. We already kind of thought he would be, because at a glance you can already tell he's going to be really good, but there's a difference between thinking it and playing it out on quick play and actually seeing him work at a major. It was crazy to see MKLeo's Joker, and it's really funny how we thought that in 2019 before Joker's potential was fully fleshed out, because like, look what they said from MKLeo versus Ken at EG TS Cup during May of 2019. Leo starts the match mistiming gun twice. And like, don't get me wrong, 2019 Leo playing his 2019 Joker would absolutely sweep most of us in 2025 anyway, but it's funny how even when players are still learning how to play him, and the best player in the world isn't even used to timing gun consistently yet, he was already seen as a potential best character in the game. As the weeks went on, people discovered some surface level Joker tech, like the first to the forward air's combo potential, the insanely spammable back air. The gun is like the best chip damage move in the game, and it gives you cool movement. It's like Sheik Needles, but with DLC and cooler movement. His recovery is kind of exploitable, but it still goes pretty far, which means that paired with gun, Joker has insane edge guarding. There was the infinite up airs combo, and of course, moving on from tech, there was Arsene, you know, big brother, big bro, turning Joker into fast Ganondorf for 30 seconds. It was crazy. Not as crazy as the bullshit we see in some DLC Wave 2 characters, but back then, the closest thing we had to an Arsene-like mechanic was Cloud's Limit, and that went away after Cloud used one of his special moves, or after 15 seconds, while Arsene boosts every move and you can mash the powered up moves as much as you like until the meter ran out. And then Limit had also been nerfed from Smash 4, and because this was 2019, people hadn't forgotten about what Cloud had lost. So to see the insanely broken Smash 4 Limit go away, only for Arsene to show up, yeah, no, Joker was an insanely big threat. People didn't know whether they should camp Arsene out or if they should hit Joker more so he'd run out of juice faster. Nobody knew how easy it was to two-frame him back then. I don't know, I could go on. People were riled up. Joker's first big win was under MK Leo, because of course it was, and it was MomoCon 2019. And this was a really cool set because this was like a little over a month after Joker came out, like a month and a week later almost. And even given this really small time frame to tune his Joker up to take on top players, Leo does great here, taking the first game over Tweak with a 3-stock and denying him the Grand Finals reset with a 3-1. Beating a player as insanely talented as Tweak so swiftly and efficiently with a character Leo's practiced for less than a month. I mean, yeah, I guess I get why some people back then were calling him carried. It wasn't true, of course, and it's not like Joker has no weaknesses either. For example, you can't even play a set as him without getting two-framed at least once nowadays. But back then, people hadn't trained for the Joker matchup yet. He was too new. Shit, Ultimate was too new. Like, check this out, right? It's theory time. There was a lot more variety when it came to characters showing up in tournaments back then, right? It makes sense, the game was kind of new, and the characters that showed up were kind of straightforward, you know? Wolf, Lucina, Palu, right? This caused people to spend more of their time practicing their fundamentals of the game, just getting better, instead of specific matchups. Think about it, top players don't practice their fundies as much as they used to anymore. They practice the Steve matchup, the Sonic matchup, whatever. Joker was the first newcomer in Ultimate's lifespan that made people think like, oh, Joker isn't a character I can just beat with pure fundies. They're like a super new archetype, a super unique guy with a ton of unique properties. I actually need to study the matchup to win. Was anyone studying the Lucina matchup, the Wolf matchup? No, they're great characters, but you knew what you were getting. You knew what to expect from them before the set even started. If you're fighting a Joker in 2019 who's equally as good as you can't out-fundies him. This is a matchup where you need to know what you're doing. And this kind of extends to the present too. He's kind of a weird guy. Even people who were experts at fighting with Punishers needed to rethink their plan because of Gun, because of Arsene. Joker wasn't just another whiff Punisher like Greninja or Sheik. He was built different, right? And Leo, as the sole top-level North American Joker at the time, on top of being absolutely racist at this game, made this character pretty tricky to study at a top level because this was Leo's most dominant era, and nobody could take him down consistently enough to fully come to a conclusion as to what a top-level Joker's weaknesses were. Like, if nobody can beat him, how are people gonna study how to beat him, right? In retrospect, it makes a lot of sense that he didn't struggle to get good with Joker. He's known to be the king of fundies for a reason. To this day, people say he has the best fundies in the game, and it shows because he plays like a million characters, right? And if you give a player that plays pretty straightforward characters and that rarely relies on some cheese, he's gonna go crazy. Like, look at the characters he was winning with before DLC. This man does not consume dairy. So yeah, that explains the initial scare that Joker stirred up in the community. In the game's early days, where straightforward, fundies-based characters thrive, we suddenly get a super unique character with a super weird, insanely versatile, very fast-paced playstyle, and a broken DLC mechanic that forces players to adapt and start to learn specific matchups instead of just the game in general. Despite the game still being new, and he's a top tier, and he's being piloted by the best player of all time that nobody can take down consistently, it makes complete sense for people to freak out. But yeah, moving on from Joker's early days, the rest of 2019 was as you expected, with Leo winning 12 tournaments after MomoCon, 6 of them majors, 11 of them with Joker. One of these wins was of course EVO 2019, the biggest Smash tournament of all time at the time, which is where the most iconic Joker clip ever was born.
Oh my god!
Did he do it? Forward throw. He's gonna survive. Leo has Arsene out. This could go either way.
Oh, he reads him, but he does not pull the trigger on that forward throw, and now this could take him out. Oh.
There's a lot of lore to this clip. It's not just a fair one into up air. There's so much, you know, lore. There's a lot of baggage to this, right? I have a video on it if you want to check it out. Let's move on. At the end of the year, Joker was the best character in Ultimate. If you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know I love YouTuber tier list slop content, and I mean, yeah, pretty much everyone was ranking Joker as either the best character in the game or somewhere inside the top 3. Esam, Hungrybox, Mars, everyone. Mars was like getting upset about how Joker's neutral air plays the game for you because it does everything and it's super safe. He was like, oh, that's bad game design. And then Sakurai was like, oh, you want bad game design? Here's DLC Wave 2. So yeah, 2020 and 2021 were a little different because, you know, there was kind of a little illness going around, maybe you remember, and we had more online tournaments while offline tournaments were pretty much closed down for a while. And the thing is, Joker gets heavy nerfed online. Joker sucks online. Arsene exists, and that's good leeway, but tight inputs and a game plan that relies a lot on good movement and reactions and combos, it's harder to be precise online. And Leo knew this, which is why in 2020 he got second at Genesis 7, first at Frostbite 2020 with Joker before the pandemic, and as soon as the lockdown started and online tournaments were the way to compete now, he dropped Joker. And even though he did keep competing online, he never used them to win any of the 3 tournaments he did win for the rest of the year because it was all online. At the same time, in 2020, we did see a lot more of Zakray's Joker. Zakray is an insanely talented player from Japan. In Ultimate's early life, he was like #1 in Japan, and to this day he is goated, and he is a very, very potent Joker. And I'm bringing him in now instead of in 2019 because during the pandemic he actually did use Joker. He wasn't like Leo where he didn't want to experience Wi-Fi Joker. Zakray actually did commit to the Joker, and next to his Rob, he was carrying Joker's top level representation during the pandemic. Now, after the pandemic, Joker's representation gets a lot more diverse because now in present day, we have so many cool Joker players around the world. We have Leo in Mexico, but also Tsubaki and Goryoka from Japan and Omega from the US. We have Lemon from Canada, who got an insane upset over Spargo at Best of the West 3 not long ago. I really love watching cool Joker gameplay, and these guys never disappoint because who plays a lame Joker? I want to know. Like, if you know someone who has a really lame Joker, send it to me. I want to know if it's possible. It probably is, but I haven't seen it. It probably is. I wouldn't be surprised. It's 2025. Everyone can be lame nowadays. Omega got a really cool looking win over the Buzz in CEO 2024. He has wins over Jazzo, Mr. E. He took Leo to game 5. Not anyone can do that. He hasn't won a major yet, but he has some very impressive placements over the years, and I believe in him. In the 2024.2 ranking, which was calculated at the end of last year, he was the 104th best player in the world. Meanwhile, Goryoka and Tsubaki are ranked 57th and 101st respectively, and they also have some super important wins. Tsubaki's being Toriguri. Sorry, I'm so bad with these names. Sorry. He's been Carmelo, Super Semi. This guy's goated. Goryoka has wins over Raru and Raki, who are some crazy threats. Raru as in the Raru that got second at Kagari V13, the tournament I mentioned at the start. So yeah, the Joker players from Japan are no joke. A little while ago, MK Leo did something that is a contender for the best Joker clip ever, which is saying a lot, and yes, I'm aware of the EVO 2019 clip I mentioned. It was in this game against Spargo at Throne 2, he landed like 100 Rebels Guards in a row, and then 0 to death him twice. The only damage here was from Rebels Guard, like he didn't get hit once, it was all Rebels Guard. Like, the sauce is still there, Joker's still an amazing character. And I know everybody knows this, I'm not trying to make a case for Joker saying he needs more representation or anything like that. Like, no, he's doing great in terms of that. Everybody knows Joker's really good, he has a lot of cool players, but since the meta right now is revolving around careful playstyles, to say the least, I thought it would be cool to give a little shout out to the OG Broken Top tier, who's a relic from when playing offensively was the meta, who's now chilling on the backseat of the S tier bus while almost everyone else gets shit on for being lame. So yeah, we arrive at the present, right? 2025. I'm gonna try my best to be polite here and not let my opinions on the current top tier spill out here, but let's just say I feel like that one Spider-Man scene where Tobey Maguire is stopping the train with his webs or something, because I have some crazy opinions here that I don't want to acknowledge, you know, Persona 4 style. Like, no, you're not me, but like, that is me. Oops.
That's not true!
There's some characters here on S tier, not all of them, obviously, but there's some here that I think are kind of lame, you know. No hate to anyone at all, obviously. If you're Kazuya main and you're like, wow, this Lucina is calling my guy lame, I mean, yes, but like that doesn't mean I think less of you or anything, or that I think I'm better than you, or that you deserve hate or whatever. Nobody deserves that, no matter how much they want to rely on bullshit. What I think about your character should not matter to you. I'm just someone, man. But yes, I think Kazuya is really lame, but it shouldn't matter to you. It should not matter to you. So I'm not sure how to end this video. I think Joker's a really cool character, and he has a ton of cool lore tied to his history in Smash. I'll be real, I feel like I didn't really say all that much in this video, but I don't know, I just wanted to make a video about him because I like him. He has a lot of love thrown into his design, his animations, everything about him. For spectators, he's never boring to watch, and he's always been a top tier, but not to the point of people complaining about him in 2025. He's great, but he's not DLC Wave 2 great, right? So he's alright. It's so cool to see how Joker players have innovated his game over the years. Like, let's be positive for a little bit. Let's talk about the good characters that people do like. So hey, you and I and a lot of other people might have some issues with the characters that show up a lot in 2025 competitive Smash Ultimate, and it can be easy to get nostalgic and bitch and moan about how this game is lame now, but let's not forget that this game's flashy characters that spectators love at least didn't go anywhere. They're still here, and I used Joker as an example because everybody loves him, but I could have made this video about like Diddy Kong, Fox, Peach and Daisy because they're kind of like Joker in this sense too, like broken, not to the point where people hate on them, but like still really good, and people generally enjoy watching them at a top level. Like, you know, yeah, all this to say, hype is not dead in Smash Ultimate. Don't let big Minecraft convince you otherwise. This game still goes hard if we cope hard enough. That's it, bye.